Hi, 8th grade students, it's Mr. Alford, and I am going over the most commonly missed questions for homework number 5, Expressions and Equations Review Part 2, to help you, when you redo the assignment, get a better grade. So, problem 2 was this question: what is the solution to x plus 1 plus 11 plus 2x equals 7 plus 3x plus 4? A lot of you chose no solution, which is wrong. I think what you guys were doing is you looked at this side of the equation and you looked at this side of the equation and you said, well, because they're different, that means that it's a no solution. I talked in the last video about infinitely many solutions is when both sides of the equation are identical, and no solution does not mean that both sides look different. And I think that's what you guys were thinking. So again, no solution does not mean that both sides look different. Here's a really simple example of an equation. So 2x equals 6. With 2x equals 6, both sides are not the same, but that does not mean that this is a no solution problem. This just means that I need to simplify this. Okay, so in your equation up here, you need to simplify this until you're sure it's a no solution, until you're sure you know what the answer is. You can't say it's no solution without at least trying to simplify it first. So in this example right here, again, both sides aren't the same, but I just divide by 2 on both sides, and I get x equals 3. So again, this is a one solution answer here for this equation. This is just a random example that I just made to show you that just because both sides of the equation look different does not mean your answer is no solution. Alright, so think about how you try and simplify this. If you end up simplifying it and you get something like 7 equals 6, if you come up with an equation that you know is nonsense, if you know it's nonsense, then you can say, or if you know it's an impossible equation, then you can say it's no solution. If you come up with something like where both sides are really identical, then you can say it's infinitely many solutions. Or maybe you'll come up with something like this, where you get x equals a number. Then your answer is going to be A or it's going to be B. Okay. The point I'm trying to make again is just because both sides look different doesn't mean it's no solution. You need to simplify this equation until you figure out more. All right, problem 3. Let's see. A lot of people did miss this problem, and in fact, a lot of people chose D, said that the distances are the same. Just by looking at these two scientific notation numbers here, they're definitely not the same, so I can't say the distances are the same. My hint to you is just take both of these numbers and turn it into standard notation. You know, do the decimal hops for each of the numbers, compare the numbers, see how they're different. Okay. Problem 4. In this problem, you're trying to find the equation and the y-intercept of this line here. A lot of people said that the y-intercept is 3, or in fact, and this was a multiple choice problem, and a lot of people said 0, 3 is the y-intercept. Here's what that means. If 0, 3 is the y-intercept, then, okay, well, where is 0, 3 on the graph? Well, here's the x value 0. Let's find the y value 3. 1, 2, 3. Put my pencil down. So right there is the y-intercept of 3. But this graph definitely is not, this line here is definitely not going through the y-axis at 3. So think again on that problem. Problem 5. Okay, let's see. Let me say a little bit. You can notice that in problem A and in problem B, like the numbers are the same. It's just the numbers mean different things. Same thing with C and D. You have the same numbers, but the numbers mean different things. So some of you were close with choosing, you had the right numbers, but you need to think a little bit more about what those numbers are supposed to mean in this problem. Again, like you chose a choice with the right numbers, but it just wasn't the right answer. Problem 7. Which of the following would best be measured in micrometers? I think essentially, if you do the decimal hops for this, you are going to get either a really small, if you turn this into standard notation, you do the decimal hops, and this is an exponent of -6, so that means 6 decimal hops to the left. When you do this, you're going to get either a really small number or a really big number. And you need to think, and just think common sense. If you have like a big number, then that's obviously used to measure big things, like the distance between two planets. If you have a really small number, then that's used to measure really small things, like the width of a strand of hair. So just think about if you're, turn your number into standard notation, figure out if it's a really big number or a really small number, and ask yourself, this kind of number, what would it be used best for would it be best for measuring big things or best for measuring small things? Problem 8. More people miss this than I would have liked, so let me just say real quick. Here's the formula for slope, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And I know that you guys are good at this, so I was just a little bit shocked that you missed this one, but, just think about, here are your 2 points, label them correctly. So for example, this one's going to be x1. Just label all 4 of them. Go from there. I think you'll get it. 9. What are the slope and y-intercept of the line? 3.5x and 8. So one person wrote this, 3.5 and 8, and I just want to talk about it for a second. This is wrong because I don't know which one you say is the slope and which one you say is the y-intercept. You've got to tell me a little bit more than that. Okay? That's especially important in the milestones. Just if you always write complete answers when you have a short answer kind of problem, you'll never, it's a shame that this person, I bet, has the answer right in their head, but they didn't show it to me correctly, when they were typing it. So I can't give you the credit. So it's really important that if you have to actually write an answer, just do it in complete sentences. Okay? Let's see. Okay, this is problem 11a. First of all, some people, and I'll talk about the rest of this in a second. First of all, some people wrote like a number for their answer, 83. That's really not what's going on in this problem. Like problem 11 is really just asking you, which penguin species, is it the Adelie or is it the Emperor? Which penguin species has a faster maximum walking speed? Okay, so it's just one or the other. So some people wrote a number. You aren't writing a number. You're writing You're writing one of the species of penguin that you say is the faster species. I want to talk about 2 other answers that I saw. One answer was help, which is, I'm not trying to shame you here. It's totally understandable if you want help. Another answer was this little silly thing, which, you know what? It was silly, but I'm just going to say that was a silly way of really saying that you want help, or at least you need help. So just letting you guys know again, if you haven't seen the pattern yet, every Tuesday and every Thursday I will post tutoring hours, and it will be for 1 hour. And if you are like really confused on these problems, just come to tutoring. I'm sure we can finish the problems pretty quick and you'll be good. You don't even have to start the homework until you come to tutoring. It would just be you and I can basically take care of it during tutoring. You don't have to do this thing where you attempt it the first time, you get problems wrong, and then you go back and do it a second time. You can get them all right on the first time if you come to tutoring. So it's just a suggestion. Again, tutoring hours I post it every Tuesday and Thursday. It's not the same time every week, but just look for that on Tuesdays and Thursdays for tutoring. It's just basically you come to a Google Meet and we work through the problems together and you'll be fine. 11b. Okay, pretty much everybody missed this problem, so I just said, you know what, I'm just going to say you're right, but I marked every answer correct for this problem. Really, you guys got it wrong, but I'm basically just throwing this question out and giving you credit for this question. So there you go. I'm throwing this question out and giving you the credit for this problem, whether you got it right or not. 13. A laundromat sells 2 varieties of okay, yes. So this problem. Let's see. So one person had an answer that was getting very close to correct. Erica is basically saying that the unit rate of Sudsies is 3/1 or $3 per ounce. And Sudsies is shown in the table below. So one person said that when Erica said that the unit rate of Sudsies is 3/1, that person said incorrect because unit rate is $3 for 5 ounces. So you are correct in that that is the rate for this, well, that is the correct rate here, but it's not the unit rate. We need to talk a little bit more about what unit rate is, so let's do that. So when you're doing this problem, the change in y is going to be the dollars, because y is the total price. So this change here is $3. The change in ounces is your change in x. This is $5. So your slope here is 3 over, let me do this. Let me go down here. So your slope here is obviously 3/5. Now this is not your unit rate. Your unit rate is when the bottom of this fraction is 1. So to do that, basically, and I'm kind of doing at least part of the problem for you. To do that, you need to divide the top and the bottom by 5. And when you do that, you're going to get a new fraction where you've got something on the top, and on the bottom you have 1. Okay? So that's going to give you your unit rate. So for example, and actually this is totally wrong, but I'll just show you anyway. Let's say that this were just 4/1. Then we would say that the unit rate is 4, because anything divided by 1 is just itself. So if this were 4 up here, and it's not, but I'm just writing it just for an example, if this were 4, then we would say the unit rate here is basically $4 for every 1 ounce. And that is essentially saying our unit rate here is 4. And in our other example, the second detergent, the unit rate was 0.6. And so we would compare them, and that would help us get to our answer. So again, I've gotten you this far in the problem. So once you figure this out, you're going to have a new unit rate. And you're going to compare that to the unit rate for the other detergent. And Erica said that the Sudsies unit rate was more expensive than the Super Clean unit rate. And you're going to say, well, why is that answer incorrect? Okay, that is all the help that I am giving for this assignment. Good luck, guys.